to the Commanders of the Coast EDH podcast. I'm Arch.
And I'm Ben. And today we got a really special episode for you. It's a really exciting time for Commander players, don't you think?
Oh, really, really exciting. Every single year. It's actually around the same time when I had started.
Really? This year? Last year?
Last year, actually. No, 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Yeah, I started off with the Anala deck. Yep.
Yeah.
Still sitting there.
Yeah, but you know, it's Commander 2019.
Yes,
I've been waiting all year for this. We finally got previews.
Oh, I know.
Not
so
full
juicy.
spoilers yet, but we got some previews, which is more than we've been getting the past few months. So usually they get leaked early. That's
Yeah.
why. Usually they get leaked pretty early and we already know what's going on. Like we knew it was Planeswalkers for a few months. This one, it's like it comes out in 3 weeks now.
Yeah, it's really soon. It's coming out real soon.
And we're barely getting information on it.
And later today at 2 p.m. we're getting even more.
Yeah, we're getting more.
Probably releasing this video around that time. So,
yeah. So today we want to talk about some of the previews. They showed the commanders for each of the decks already. They showed the 4 ones, and we want to talk a little bit about that. Plus, they made some new cards that go with them.
They've got some really interesting ones this time around. I'm actually more excited for this one than I was for last year's, believe it or not.
I mean, I think for Planeswalkers, it's kind of like polarizing. Like
that's
good.
That's very true. I mean, I know there's a lot of people who don't believe in Planeswalkers being commanders just because it slows down the game, but
right.
I'm not one of them. Just to clarify,
I don't mind either. But like I said, last year wasn't that crazy. They were still good decks. I still like them.
No, they were really fun. Lord Winggrace is just he's a beast, a literal beast.
Yeah, so let's get to some of the commanders that they previewed. Let's talk about this first one, John. What do you think about this first one?
The first one, you know what? Vampires kind of scare me ever since Edgar, honestly. But this one looks like a very fair one, and it looks like a really, really fun one to play because now we finally have a Madness commander.
Right.
Like, we've been needing something like that. And this one just really fits the bill for it. If you want to...
Not sure how to pronounce this name. Anya?
Anhe.
Falcon Wrath. But this is an Innistrad vampire callback. It's 1 black-red. Legendary creature vampire, of course. It's a 1/3, and it has haste.
It does have
before
haste,
we get to the actual nitty-gritty, that's a pretty low CMC for a commander.
It's absolutely tiny.
Right.
It really is
and
tiny.
the haste really helps, especially for its activated ability.
I know. I mean, you're not going to really be swinging with her. I mean, unless you decide to build her that way.
It's possible.
But just her activated ability is just it's really juicy, honestly.
So you rummage. That's what I believe. That's what's called. You tap her. Discard a card, draw a card.
Yeah, that's right.
So very simple, and that's it. That's all she does. Well, actually, she also has another second line of text. Is whenever you discard a card, if it has Madness, untap her. Which is interesting. Like, this is the Madness deck that we're talking about. Now you can make use of Madness. The cons, I would say, let's start with the cons, just because I think it's easier to do it that way.
Okay.
There's not that much Madness decks, cards, or good ones at least, printed.
Not yet.
In the past. I know they're going to print more for this set, for this deck in particular, but the ones that they have printed out, they're not that good. Like, you're not getting much value.
They're okay. I mean, I run a discard deck already, and I've got a lot of Madness cards in there, and they're just not really... Top tier is the best way. I mean, I feel like as of just right now, in terms of Madness, it's just more so of... A little bit above janky, but
I feel like if you are gonna run Madness, or if you're gonna use Madness in this deck, you're just using it to. It's like firewood. You're just throwing it just so you can start getting in more. Yeah. Just so you keep drawing, because then there's a lot of cards that care about when you do discard or when you do have cards in your graveyard. So this will really help that engine. Plus, you're drawing every time.
And the colors are good for it too.
Yeah, Rakdos.
Very, very good for it.
So. There's another card that came out with her. I guess it's kind of her signature card or other card that's not the commander. It's called...
I think they did this because of Oathbreaker, though. Oathbreaker, honestly.
Well, yeah.
They release a commander, and then
they still have, like, one of...
They want to do, like, that type of format. I mean, I know it's not a Planeswalker, but I think they just want to do, that spice,
They had this last year, too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they had this last year, too. They usually make a commander, and then they have something that relates to it. So this one is a creature. It's 2 and a red. I'm just call her Angie. Let's just call her Angie from now on.
I'm going to call her Angie.
Yeah.
Angie's List. Whatever you need.
Angie's Ravager. It's a vampire berserker. It's a 3/3. And it attacks each turn each combat if able, not each turn. That would be pretty crazy. So when it does attack, you discard your hand and draw 3 cards, and it also has -1 in a red. So I've never been a fan of attack each combat if able.
Yeah,
but that's just me.
I know your playstyle doesn't
yeah,
really.
Because then you don't want your creature to die. Like I'm more of like utility creatures.
Yeah.
But I could see why this would be in this deck, or why it would be good. Because you discard your hand
and just
you basically wheel, but you only get 3 back.
I mean, you're probably discarding more madness too.
Right, you're getting more, so then you could keep untapping her in the middle of the discards because it will be on the stack. It's pretty cool because it's a repeatable thing, and if you have no cards in your hand and it says discard your hand, you're still going to draw 3 cards afterwards. That's not part of the cost. So I think that's good, and it has madness itself, you know.
Yeah, and it's just like a common thing you see in red too, which is it's great for it. That way you're able to just cycle through.
Yeah, especially in these 2 colors, you don't have blue and you don't have some of the other. I think this is one of the other than Boros, this is probably one of the harder card draw color combination. You know. So this definitely helps.
Poor Boros.
Poor Boros. Yeah. Kind of sad we didn't see a Boros commander this time.
Yeah,
but
I mean we got Feather from
Yeah, but come on, man.
No, fair enough.
I still have a little sweet spot. So let's talk about some cards that have already been printed before, or older cards that are probably gonna either spike up or you're gonna probably see them in a lot of EDH rec.
EDH rec,
text.
yes. Now,
you're gonna probably see this in the upper synergy. So obviously vampires are really prevalent in these 2 colors. I mean, the commander itself is a vampire.
Oh yeah.
But there's also another card we want to highlight that would really help her. It's called Falconwrath Gordron. It's just 1 red, 1 measly red.
1 old red.
So you could do this turn 1 if you don't want to play your Soul Ring. So this is a Vampire Berserker, and it's a 2/1. And each vampire card that you own that isn't on the battlefield has madness. And that madness is equal to its casting cost. So now every time you're discarding a vampire, you're just automatically untapping,
exactly.
you know?
Yep.
And that's insane, especially for 1 mana. That's a lot of value.
If only they had a Laboratory Maniac in red.
Yeah, if only they did.
That would be very nice.
So now you could really cycle through your deck easily, or maybe not too easily, but if you're doing something like this where you're discarding your vampire, I don't think you're going to be paying the madness cost. Do you think you're going to be doing that?
No.
Maybe
Probably
you want some
not,
cheap
honestly.
recursion. Like, I know, what's that card that takes all cards from the graveyard to the battlefield and all cards to the battlefield to the graveyard? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's that black sorcery.
Man, we should know this. A Living Death.
Living Death.
Living Death.
That would be really good.
That would be very disgusting, actually, thinking about it now.
And if you do Vampire Tribal, there's more. I think there's one called Patriarch's Bidding where you choose a creature type and they all come back. So if you choose all vampires.
You know, that's the scary thing. Vampires have scarred me, and
yeah, Edgar Markov.
Just, man.
This would also be a pretty good card in Edgar Markov or herself. If you do a Vampire Tribal and they all have madness, then that's an engine. Not that he needs any more fuel.
Man, why are we coming up with these ideas?
I don't know. I hope no one's listening here, just rubbing their hands together, ready for that Edgar Markov. So I also want to, before we go to the next one, I also want to kind of just reiterate the fact that it's when you discard a card. It's not necessarily because she's discarding cards. So any other discard effects, if you have a Wheel of Fortune, I mean, if you're a rich person, if you have any other,
if you're fortunate,
if you're fortunate to have a wheel, then that also counts towards her untapping.
There's just so many ways that you can just discard your hand in this color, and it just man.
And get value out of it.
It's gonna be really fun. I think
I do like it. I like the deck a lot.
You know, I'm not gonna be biased or anything, but I feel like out of the commanders that are spoiled so far right now, I think this one is gonna be one of the more fun ones.
I think it's too early.
Then again,
it's too early for that. Just wait till
you're right. It may be too early, but I'm just basing it off of what we have so far.
Okay.
But I mean, I think they're actually all really fun. But anyways, we can talk about that at the end when we summarize. Sorry.
So let's talk about another card that came out in M20. It's actually one of my pet cards.
Oh, I know you love this card a lot.
Just because there's just so much shenanigans you can do with it. It's called a Glinthorn Buccaneer. It's 1 red. It's a Minotaur pirate. It's not a vampire, unfortunately, but it has haste, and it says when you discard a card, Glinthorn Buccaneer deals 1 damage to each opponent.
Man, this is
so you could kind of see where you're going with this. If you keep discarding, you're just gonna keep pinging people. It also has an active ability, which it can be relevant. I've never actually used it because, like I said, I don't like attacking. But it's 1 in a red. Discard a card, draw a card. Activate this ability only if Glinthorn Buccaneer is attacking. So if you start going off with a chain of just discarding, you could start doing a ton of damage to everybody, especially if you have like double damaging type enchantments like Furnace of Wrath or something. All of a sudden, people are gonna be like, "Okay, can you just keep your hand, please? Please hold on to it for now." And if you're wheeling every turn, oh man, it's pretty nasty.
Oh, that's very nasty.
Yeah, because then you always have fuel.
That's why when I see this guy on the field, it scares me.
Yeah,
and having a commander like this, just being able to just.
It's one of those cards when you play it, you just hope that no one notices. You just play it and just like, all right, pass the turn. I don't do anything crazy.
Hurry, go. Yeah, that one's really fun. I mean, and if you want to pair it up with this fun card that we have coming up next too, we got Faith of the Devoted.
Fun.
Yeah, super fun. For a 2 and a black. So whenever you cycle or discard a card, you may pay 1, and if you do, each opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life.
So paying 1 sounds like it's gonna eventually catch up to you, but I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Like
either.
you said, you run a discard/cycle deck, and this actually is one of those cards that when you have it in the field, you already know that there's gonna be a lot of synergy.
Oh yeah.
And you're also gaining life. You're getting 2 life each time, and each opponent loses 2 life.
Yeah.
And that's not nothing. It's not nothing.
It adds up really, really quick, and you're gonna get the target on your head. You will get the target on your head. Yeah, this is gonna be a really fun commander, and I'm really hoping to get my hands on something like this. But I don't know yet. Spoilers haven't fully come out yet, so I haven't figured out which one I would truly want to get out of these.
Also, there's still those like 2 more different face commanders.
That's very true.
We get to see.
I mean, I currently run a Yuriko deck too, so.
Yeah, so you can see that sometimes the leader sometimes the face of the actual deck isn't the best one or the fun one that you're.
Yeah, it's all preference. Really.
Yeah, it's all preference.
Yeah. I mean, her price is expensive now. That should say something.
I know. Yikes.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next one.
Yeah, let's talk about the next one. So we went through the commander we just gone through. Angie, she's the only 2-color commander. The rest are 3 colors, which is exciting because.
We need more of those.
Yeah,
honestly.
we need
really
more 3 colors. So the next one is another interesting one because it deals with Morph. And as you know, Animar is,
Animar too.
Power Rangers too.
So sorry.
As you know, Animar is kind of like the Morph deck.
He's the go-to Morph man.
Yeah.
He really is.
So it's nice that we get another one because, I mean, honestly, what other deck are you going to run Morph in? There's not many options. I don't think there is any. There's some weird mono blue that turns a card face down.
There is a mono blue one, yeah.
Yeah, but then it's like you're stuck in mono blue. That's the thing. Which isn't bad, but then you're gonna be.
They're just not.
Anyways, yeah, let's digress. Let's talk about. So this is a Sultai deck. It's called he or she, Cadena, sorcerer. So not sorceress. I guess it would have been. I don't know. Nagas are pretty much females all the time.
We'll leave it up to the viewer here.
So this is Cadena, Slinking Sorcerer. 1 black, green, blue. And it's actually a Naga wizard, which is, that's one of the weirdest kind of creature types you've seen in a while. So it's a 3/3, and it says the first face-down creature spell you cast each turn costs 3 less to cast. So basically your first morph is free.
It's literally free.
So I'm guessing if you have Flash, and it says each turn. If you have Flash, you just keep, putting stuff down.
Yeah, Vidalcanori.
Leyline of Anticipation, which is really cheap now.
Yeah, that's true. $3 right now at the moment.
Yeah, we better get it because as soon as in a few months that's gonna go back up.
Oh, it will.
It's gotta go back up. So it has another clause. It's like whenever a face-down creature enters the battlefield. So basically, whenever you morph,
you draw a card.
You draw a card.
That's literally it.
Yeah, every time. It's not just the first time, like its first line of text. Every single time. So.
Once you get that engine going, it's gonna be pretty fun.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be very fun.
And I think Morph already in itself is a fun archetype because it's the whole you just revealed my trap card type of thing, right? You never know what's under there. So it's really, really fun to see that they're actually giving this more support.
That's true.
And there's a lot of ways you could, I wouldn't say break, not in these colors. With Animar, you know why it was broken. Because they were free all
they're
the
essentially free,
yeah. This one's only once per turn, but you draw a card, so you do have your engine, and you could definitely find ways. Yeah, you could find ways to draw multiple cards a turn, or
it feels very fair,
Yeah, I feel like at the same time, we say that now. I'm pretty sure when we start playing against this, we're gonna be wishing that it wasn't made.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about the card that they actually
Oh
made?
yeah, let's go ahead and reveal
to
that
compliment her.
one. Yeah, so it's Cadena's. Man, do we say her name's Cadena or Cadena?
Cadena.
Cadena's Silencer. It's a 1 in a blue. It's another Naga wizard. And when Cadena Silencer is turned face up, counter all abilities your opponents control.
Not another flip counter spell.
Yep. So
not another one.
Now we'll just never know. Like, it's literally a trap card. It's literally a trap card.
Right. It's only 1 in the blue too, and it's all spells. So like, say someone's trying to make a really crazy stack because they were trying to combo off.
Oh yeah.
That whole thing just starts crumbling down.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty nasty.
That's a lot of power.
It's a lot of utility
for a 1 in the blue.
Yeah, for 1 in the blue.
Very, very.
And it comes in. Let me say so. Morph is kind of one of those weird things that, if you don't recall, it doesn't use the stack. Like, you could just do it anytime, and it'll resolve no matter what.
Yeah.
But this was Megamorph actually, which it just comes in with an extra +1 counter.
That's right.
Which honestly, it's kind of underwhelming, but it might be something.
Sure, it's nice. Maybe it'll save you from, like, the 1 damage board wipe or
getting pinged.
Whatever it is. Yeah.
But when you play her, you draw a card. If your commander's out, you draw a card, and she's basically free the first time you play her, anyways. So it is just 1 blue. You could literally, now thinking about it, it's kind of gross. You could play it for face down.
Yeah.
Not spend any mana for it. Pass the turn. It's like, okay, go for it. And then you just never know. Like, I'll just save this for later. You just never know.
It's great hate, in my opinion. You can hold on to it and just wait, and even if you have a grudge, like, oh, Soul Ring.
yeah. That happens a lot in our play group where. It happens a lot in the play group where.
I don't know about your play group. I don't know who's part of that, man.
Where you don't really. It's not the optimal removal. It's just the person that you're trying to get back at, usually.
Yeah. All right, so let's go talk about a card that I think is just a must-have in this deck. And that's going to be Secret Plans. And that is a green and a blue. And it's face-down creatures you control get +0/+1. That's cool. But the real juiciness comes from the other part, which is whenever a permanent you control is turned face up, draw a card.
Right. So there are actually a few things here. One, this card's like 25 cents right now. It doesn't see much play anywhere. 2, it's only 2 mana, like and it's an enchantment, so it's kind of tough to remove anyways. But every time you play a face down card, you draw. And every time a face down card gets faced up, you draw.
You're just drawn. The draw engine is very, very strong here.
Yeah, that's kind of nasty if you think about it, because these colors are already really good in drawing cards. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
But if you have more engines that really help with the actual strategy to begin with, that's just a bonus, And +1 toughness. I mean, why not?
That's cool.
Why not? Sure.
Not an Arcades deck, but we'll take it. Save us from that
one ping
that
somewhere.
One ping, yeah.
Yeah. So I want to talk about another card that I don't play morph cards, but this one actually is in some of my decks just because it has a really good ability for black. It's Grim Harvest Specs. I'm sure a lot of people know about it.
Oh yeah.
It's 2 in a black. It's a human wizard. It's a 3/2. It has morph for 1 black, which is pretty good. It's not nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cheap. But it could also morph itself. I mean, you could also just play this face down for 3 mana, or in this case, for free. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, draw a card. It's really good in this deck, I think. I'm pretty sure this is going to get reprinted, honestly. It's going to have to be reprinted in this. It's not like it's expensive, but I feel like it's going to be in the deck. It's a morph,
too. Man. It's a morph, and it's in black.
I'm making that prediction right now. These 2 cards are going to be in here. These 2 cards are going to be in the PRECON, just because I feel like... And there's some more that counter spell or whatever, but these 2 are definitely going to be in the PRECON. I'm calling it right now.
We're gonna see.
You heard it here first, or my name's not Benny. But anyways, like
who's that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
So anyways, drawing a card every time a creature dies is pretty good. Non-token, and in this deck you're not really going to make tokens anyway. So every time a creature does die, you just draw a card.
Yeah.
And even though they're 2/2 morphs, they're considered actual creatures. They're not tokens.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna be an interesting deck to play. I feel, or play against mostly. Playing against this is gonna be actually a nightmare.
It's gonna be scary, man, just because the whole unpredictability of it. And I mean, Magic itself is already an unpredictable game. Every game you play is always unpredictable, but now you literally have a deck that's based all around like just secrets, and it just, oh man.
So I want to put some background into this. Like we're actually kind of randomizing the decks we're getting, right?
Yeah, we are.
When we get the precons.
So we won't.
I'm just letting you know now. You got to get your poker face down.
Oh,
you gotta really. If you get this card, you really gotta get your poker face down. So let's talk about the next one.
All right, let's go.
So the next one is a pretty cool one as well.
I know this one's really cool too.
It's Jeskai. It's Jeskai.
It's just a guy who does a lot of things.
Yeah. So it's 2 blue, red, and white. Savine.
Savine.
These are all actually really hard to pronounce.
Savine. We'll go with Savine.
Savine the Chronoclasm. Human wizard. A lot of wizards so far. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to Savine the Chronoclasm. That's kind of weird, right? That it be done there.
It's super weird.
Right? But
cool.
Maybe there's a reason. We'll find out later. Whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell from your graveyard each turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. So a lot of people were kind of wishing this was in blue. I mean, in black as well.
Yeah.
Red, black, and blue for Grixis, which I understand. I get it. But I think in Jeskai, it's even better.
Why is that?
If you start to think about the whole prevent all damage that would be dealt part, because white cares about that sometimes,
Yes, they do.
You could redirect damage to him instead, which makes you basically invulnerable.
Yeah, if you redirect damage that's dealt to you to him,
and he doesn't get dealt damage, then you're just nullified.
Well, you just gotta find some way to put him on that path to exile or something,
or something,
something like that. I don't know, man.
But then again, you're in blue, white, and white. There's a way you could counter.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe a path, who knows?
Yeah,
But this is the flashback deck, so the cards in your graveyard matter, sorceries and instants matter, and not to mention he could copy the first one each turn.
Yeah.
If you copy a spell and then you copy it again, like you could just start copying everything a few times, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the first time each turn. So what are some, just off the top of your head, what do you think are some spells that maybe, I mean, with flashback though, that'd be tough. Is there a?
I'm thinking Bajuka Bog.
No.
Okay, maybe not Bajuka Bog.
Is there like an extra turn flashback? I don't think so. But if there was, it would definitely be in this deck, right?
No, I don't think so.
I'm assuming it would be in here though. Chronoclasm, time, extra turn.
Very true.
Okay.
They're all going hand in hand here.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's the whole prevent all damage part. I think that's really exciting for me. But
because it's weird, right? Because they said flashback, you would never expect that.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't looking too forward to this one. But the fact that he has that text prevent all damage, I feel like you're just gonna be pretty hard to get dealt with, honestly.
Yeah, and you could do things with red where usually red's removal or board wipes are dealing damage to everybody, like Blasphemous Act.
Blasphemous Act, favorite one.
Now he's just immune to that,
Mm-hmm.
And that's only 1 mana.
Star of Extinction and
oh gosh, Star of Extinction.
No, that's
that's a nasty one.
That's a fun one, man. That's a very, very fun one. Love that one.
So why don't you talk about the new card that they actually put?
Yeah, let's go and talk about Savine's Reclamation, which is a 2 and a white. You get to return target permanent with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's very Sun Titan-ish, it feels like already. Right. If this spell was cast from a graveyard, you may copy this spell and may choose a new target for the copy. The flashback is 4 and a white.
So we get recursion, which is something we already know of in white, but it has flashback. You could recur 2 things.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that the best way to play this deck is to have a lot of copy spells to begin with.
That'd be good. Yeah.
So you could copy the things that you are flashbacking 3 times or something, and you're just like
copying and copying.
Yeah.
And copying.
So there's a lot of different shenanigans you can do. With white, like I said, with white, it's interesting because you get to have some of the best removal, Path to Exile, Swords of Plowshare, copy that if you want to. They don't have flashbacks, so it's not going to copy from your graveyard. But I still think that having white instead of black is a lot better, just because of that. But so let's talk about some cards that would be good in this deck. There's actually one artifact that's Catalyst Stone. It's only 2 mana. Flashback cost you pay cost up to 2 less. That's kind of a mouthful. That was a little bit of a tongue twister there. And then flashback cost your opponent's pay costs 2 more.
Wow.
So paying 2 less is huge in flashback.
It's gigantic.
Isn't it? Usually flashback spells
their costs are pretty high, honestly.
Yeah, they're very costly.
So having something like that, I feel like is going to be great for it.
It'd be kind of, the second part about having your opponents have it cost 2 more. I mean, I don't think that's going to happen too often.
No,
but it'd be kind of funny.
It would be
kind of funny if you're playing against this deck.
Like a mirror match. Like,
yeah, and you're like,
you play this one first? My bad. Sorry, man.
Well, if you play both of them, if each player has both of them in the mirror match, it just cancels out. So, just remember that.
Thank you for pointing that out. We do appreciate you for it. All right, well let's go ahead and get to the next card here.
So, Pass in Flames.
Yes.
Oh man, this is actually kind of getting up there in price. It's 3 in a red. It's a sorcery. Each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until end of turn. The flashback cost is equal to its mana cost. So, remember I was saying, I wonder if there's a take an extra turn flashback. This kind of makes that card in your graveyard that is an extra turn have flashback. So you copy it twice.
True. Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, please
they
stop.
do it twice. You're just like, all right, time to shuffle up.
I think we need to put our money together and buy all the Pass in Flames so no one else has them,
and then put them in all of the decks that we need them to put in.
Yeah,
that's what we need to do here.
Because I don't want to deal with 5 extra turns.
Honestly, even 1 extra turn already gets me groaning, and I'm just like,
yeah,
oh,
that's
man.
true.
Unless it's me doing it, then I'm kind of more on the
even
excited
when I'm
side.
doing, I'm kind of just like, okay, I guess.
Sorry, guys, I got 2 more turns to go. All right, well,
so, I know you're really excited about this next one.
I am, actually. This one is really fun, and well, let's just go ahead and get right to it. Actually, you can go ahead and pronounce this one, because I'm having trouble already.
Man, so we had Angie. This one I think is Jared. It's not Jared, but we're going to call him Jared. It's Gired, Conclave Exile, which is a pretty cool design. Conclave usually refers to Selesnya. This is a Ravnica dude. So you see he has the Selesnya gown, but then he also went out and became Gruul. So that's a really cool design. I wish they did that more often. But he's a 2 red, green, white. So he's 2 in Naya. And he's a human shaman. And it says when he enters the battlefield, you create a 4/4 green rhino creature with trample. So, what is it? 5 mana. And he's a 2/5. A 5 toughness. That's pretty weird. And it makes also a 4/4. So just for 5 mana, it's what is that? 6/9? Woo. 6/9 in power and toughness put together. That's pretty good.
Throwing in an overwhelming stampede for flavor, baby. Look at the rhinos
crazy.
going.
Yeah. Also has a pretty sweet rhino token that comes with him.
It does.
The actual card.
Yeah, it does.
So whenever he attacks, you populate. So this is the populate deck. But what's even funnier is that token that enters the battlefield comes in tapped and attacking.
And that can get really nasty really quick, especially in the colors that we're in. Let's talk about doubling season. Let's talk about anointed procession. Oh my gosh. It can get really, really dumb. And now the fact that we're also in red here, extra combat steps, do it again.
Oh man, extra combat step. I actually heard or been seeing people putting Helm of the Host on this guy.
Helm of the Host on him? Oh,
yeah.
man.
So beating you up camp, you make a copy of him. They both attack. They both populate.
Oh, that's
and both
really
of those
nasty.
attack something else.
Oh, boy.
I know. Why are we saying these things? Let's just say bad cards.
Let's just stick to overwhelming stampede.
Yeah, get a Soul Ring for this deck, and that's it.
Soul Ring, and that's good. We're all good here.
So that's a pretty fun commander already. Populate was a pretty cool mechanic. It's not necessarily for going wide though. It's you want to make big tokens, not a lot of tokens. But that's not to say you don't want your doubling seasons in here. Or lives.
It'd be good to have. I mean, you're getting it for free anyways. Might as well abuse it.
So, shoot, if you have a doubling season or parallel lives, and you have a Helm of the Host on him, do you make 2 copies of him? And those copies make 2 copies? Like,
Judge.
My head hurts.
Judge.
All right. I want you to talk about the sorcery or his signature spell that he comes with.
It's Gired's Belligerence.
Jared.
Subway. X red. And when it deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures. Whenever a creature dealt damage this way dies this turn, populate.
Yikes. You could, if you have, what's a good creature to actually make a token of and populate? A creature that comes in and actually does something.
Squee.
Not
Squee might be a good choice here. Maybe not Squee, but I mean, I know they've got that crazy Eldrazi, the one that comes in as a 10/10.
And it makes a 10/10 also?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Devastation Twin or something like that?
Something. Desolation Twin. Desolation Twin. That can be pretty
Having
nasty.
a lot of 10s. And this is pretty cheap. X, red. Usually it's like 2 X's so that they lower their power level. But X, red, you could easily just pay 4 mana for X and kill everything. Or even less than that, depending. Someone could just have 1/1s and...
Then, well...
And you don't pay anything extra for each other creature you target. You just say any number of target creatures. Well, divided, so I guess that's not too bad. But
yeah.
But in green, you could easily get that mana.
Oh yeah, I mean they just came out with that new card too, where X is double the amount too.
From Modern Horizons. Oh man, I still haven't been able to play that card.
You know, one of these days you will, and it'll be great.
I have it, but
I just need to stop countering it.
All right, let's talk about some of the cards that I think are going to be really, really huge, crazy cards in this deck. Phyrexian Processor, it's a 4 mana artifact. And it comes in, you pay any amount of life. So, I don't know, pay 20. Why not?
Pay 20 life.
Pay 20. Let's pay half our life.
Not bad.
Then you tap 4, you pay 4 and tap it, and you make an XX black minion creature token on the battlefield where X is a life paid. So you make a 20/20 just by tapping 4. And then you populate that. And that's attacking.
Oh, you're a madman.
Oh, man, that's
you're
gross.
A madman.
You need to give it lifelink. Maybe you need
maybe we shouldn't do 20. We should do maybe 30. You know.
We should do 39.
Just because Soren Markov.
No, man.
Know?
Just 39. Roll the dice. Just hope and pray.
And then just get pinged.
And just get pinged.
Time.
Yeah. But yeah, this is... I mean, if you give it something where you can give it lifelink, or if there are cards like Tristani herself is the original populate one, and whenever a creature enters the battlefield, you gain life. So if you were to have Tristani out when you play this, you'll just gain back the 20 life you used.
Yeah, you
spent.
would.
And every time you do make one, because you could make as many as you want, as long as it's untapped, you just keep gaining 20 life. That's some pretty good synergy there.
It's pretty good.
And you're in red, so maybe like a fling. A fling would be good.
Fling would be pretty nice. that would be great.
Especially it's just a token, you know?
Yeah.
Just throw it away.
Toss them up.
So we talked about Tristani as a populate type thing, but let's talk about Growing Ranks, which is actually not a very popular card. Like I don't see it that often.
Me neither.
It's 2 Selesnya, so green, white. It's an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, populate. Very simple.
Very simple.
Very straightforward, but like I said, normally in populate decks, you want to make big tokens. So if you're making like in these colors, you could make some big tokens.
No, you
could make dragons. You could make angels, worms. So a lot of people like to think about the soldiers and the goblins and the elves, but no, we're not making those here. No. We're making angels. We're making worms. Oh man, we're making it rain, baby. We're making it rain. Anyways. So yeah, those are the face commanders, as we like to say, of these sets. Pretty good, pretty interesting.
It's an interesting
mechanics
set that they're doing.
We're not used to.
Yeah.
I mean, they did tribal, then they did planeswalkers, now they're focused on mechanics. And I mean, you know what? Honestly, I like it. I like that they're giving.
There's a lot more diversity going on.
They're giving more love to these mechanics that it's like
that haven't really
like morph. Who's gonna
morph?
Anamorph. That's it. Madness, not much, you know. So they're really giving life to these decks that don't see a lot of love, or these archetypes.
Yeah.
But you know, they also had some sweet other previews. They actually previewed another legendary, and this one's actually kind of bonkers.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty.
Yeah, so this one.
Let me go ahead and get the name for you here. I got you with the name.
I want to make one more prediction though.
Oh.
All these names are going to be really, really hard to pronounce. That's the theme. I think that's the real theme of Commander 2019.
I like
hard
it
to pronounce names. So can you go ahead and try to pronounce this for me?
Son of Yawgmoth.
Wow. Son of Yawgmoth. All right.
He's a 4 and
Phyrexian mana. 3 times.
Yeah.
So for Phyrexian, the way Phyrexian mana works is you either pay the cost of the color, which is in this case black. So it could be 4 black, Just 7 mana, 2/2, which no one ever wants to do. But with Phyrexian Mana, you could pay 2 life instead of the black, so it's actually 4 mana and 6 life. I'm pretty sure no one's gonna be caught paying actual black for this. But it has lifelink. He's a horror minion, and for each black in a cost, you may pay 2 life rather than pay that mana.
That alone right there is
just how did they? Why? Whenever you cast a black spell, put a +1/+1 counter. So since it has lifelink, that's relevant. You want to gain that life that you spent back. So, oh man, just think of all the possibilities of all the black spells that just cost. You know what? Black is the color that probably uses its color the most in terms of casting cost. Like you see the demons, it's like 4 black, or Necropotence is just black. In this case, it's free. Yeah. So I mean, you're paying life, but it's
especially in Commander, it's not
40 life.
Yeah, you've got a lot of life,
and plus, I'm pretty sure you're gaining. If you're making this deck, you're gonna make some life gain. You're gonna have some life gain in there.
Easy Blood Artist or whatever it is you want to do to gain some life, just extort away.
Extort for free,
literally.
So it's only 1 mana to extort, I think. So you pay 2 life.
Oh, you're right.
You drain 3, so you're gaining 1. You're netting 1 mana, and everyone's just getting drained and having a bad day. I'm pretty sure.
Definitely draining the main vein on this one.
Sure are. We sure are.
Let's move on to another one of the cards that was spoiled here, and that is Leadership Vacuum. It's a 2 and a blue. Target player returns each commander they control from the battlefield to the command zone.
It's an instant.
And draw a card.
And you draw a card. Not bad. What deck would this be in, do you think?
Man, all I gotta say is a lot of my decks revolve around expensive commanders. This is gonna hurt because I already know my commanders get off the battlefield the moment they get on. Like my Locust God, presumably is the one I think gets countered the most. Man, this is just gonna add more tax. It's gonna be taxing, and
what's crazy about this is it doesn't matter if your commander has hexproof either or indestructible. It's like a Cyclonic Rift for just commanders.
Yeah.
I mean, you're only targeting one person, and I do know you have partner commanders, so this targets.
I know the way that they awarded it, I was like, oh, of course, each. I said, oh man.
You know what? Dang, I just have my tinfoil hat today. But
go ahead.
What if they make partner commanders in this set because it's each commander? It's possible, right? They could be laying down some clues here and there.
They could, but I don't think this is it. I think that's gonna be for the next. I think it's gonna be for.
Let's just pretend like.
That's gonna be for C20.
All right, whatever.
C20 is
okay, sure.
All right, so that's gonna be a pretty fun card to play around.
Yeah, and it goes around hexproof, shroud, indestructible, and things like that. I think the only thing that would stop it is the Fairy's Protection. Which it's a pretty expensive card.
Yeah, and it goes around Savine. So I mean, all damage is dealt to him, but goodbye Savine.
And then just add 2 more to that casting cost.
He's pretty expensive too.
Oh yeah. So especially in those colors, no green. So let's talk about. There's actually a new land that's coming out.
This land really excites me.
Really?
I'm excited.
I know there's a few decks I think you could use it in, and maybe for me too. I don't know. I'm kind of not sold on it yet. Maybe you could sell me. Sanctum of Eternity.
That's right.
Sanctum of Eternity is a land. It's just a color taps for colorless. It's a rare, so it might just be in one deck, is what that means. So you pay 2, return commander you own from the battlefield to your hand. Activate this ability only during your turn. So I think the thing that I hate about it is it's only during your turn. But the good thing about it is, I mean, if it wasn't, that'd be kind of broken though.
Yeah, no, that'd be way too broken.
Yeah, that'd be really broken. Some things it can do obviously is you can redo ETBs that you like. You could protect it from things that are trying to destroy it. I'd imagine you wouldn't want to do this when you're getting Cyclonic Rift.
No,
because it's coming to your hand anyways.
Probably don't.
But also, I mean, it also gets it back from your other players. If they steal it or something.
That's true.
It's kind of like a homeward path.
It also saves you from the leadership vacuum too.
It does.
It's not going to the command zone. Right. It's going right back to your hand.
It does do that. So I know you have a Eureka deck.
I do have a
And
Yurk. This is honestly a perfect card for it because, you know, I literally been thinking of more ways of like just getting Yuriko off the battlefield because she just needs to be either in the command zone or in my hand, honestly, so I can just
either way,
recast her.
yeah.
And this just adds another outlet for it, so it's perfect. Thank you very, very much.
Also, you know, I know we talked about this a few times. Zakama.
Oh, you know what? Let's go. Okay, so I mean, I didn't understand it at first, but it's really broken when you think about it.
Yeah, because every time you play Zakama from your hand, which is this card putting it back to your hand, you untap your lands. This is a land, so essentially, if you have the right,
if you have like 3
mana
extra
base,
mana, honestly,
or if you have like auras attached to your lands or something, you could have infinite mana. As what you're gonna do with that infinite mana, there's probably, you know what? There's not much you can do.
No,
you could gain a bunch of life. You could destroy all artifacts and ping every creature.
Million life, destroy everything on the board. I mean, not bad. It's
infinite
not
life.
bad.
That's when you're hoping for infecting commander damage. Was that the last card that they previewed?
Yeah, that's the last one.
Wow. So there's also a reprint. I don't know if you saw it. It was Seedboard Muse actually. Which honestly, which was weird because it came out in Battle Bond. They reprinted in Battle Bond, so people were happy about that. But it was still like a $10 card.
Oh yeah.
After that, you know, it kind of gives me hope because it's the first card they showed off that was a reprint.
Mm-hmm.
After they already showed off all the commanders, so you know they're not. It's just like here's just a little bit of a tease, and I feel like that's just the tip of the iceberg because that means they have more room for reprints nowadays.
Didn't you have some predictions that you thought were going to be reprinted?
Okay, yeah.
That you're really
Parallel Lives hasn't ever been reprinted since Innistrad, the first Innistrad.
Do you think it's time?
Yes, it's time.
Oh boy,
it's finally time. And Anointed Possession, maybe. Hopefully,
I don't think so. I think it's too early. Huh? I think it's too early for Anointed Possession.
Come on, man. Don't say
Parallel
that.
Lives. I think that's honestly a really good potential.
Yeah, because it hasn't been reprinted ever. Mm-hmm. That's the only time it's ever been printed. Even Doubling Season has like 4 different printings.
And quite honestly, if they do, I'm really looking forward to see what the art is because I really love the art on Parallel Lives.
Mm-hmm. They need to change. I mean, they don't need to
like
change
maybe
it.
to cats.
No, let's not do cats. No, maybe a rhino because it's in the rhino deck.
You know what? 2 rhinos facing each other.
No.
Don't know where I'm going with this.
So I think that's probably going to be reprinted. Since they don't have Modern Masters sets anymore, they said they're free to reprint things because they don't have to reprint them in master sets anymore. Mm-hmm. So crazy, but I think it's possible.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Snapcaster Mage in the flashback. Crazy. I think it's possible.
You know, and they did mention flashback, and I think you're really onto something there because when you think flashback, if anything, he's probably the one that comes to your mind.
Right.
That $50 man himself.
I think he's 70. Is he 50?
He went up to 70?
He's pretty expensive, man. But
I'm just an Archaeomancer, man. But, you know.
I know. 4 mana and no flash. The 2 mana and flash make a big difference. But you know what? I do think it's possible because. But the one thing they're going to have to do is make sure that every deck has like one juicy reprint. Like a Snapcaster. For the populate one, that probably had to be Doubling Season, but I don't want them to do Doubling Season because there's enough of those.
Yeah, we just had it in Battle Bond too.
Seedbird Muse was in Battle Bond.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I already did one from Battle Bond.
I'm telling you, man, they're leaving these little clues to pick up. Partner Commanders, Doubling Season. What's next?
Oh boy, here we go.
Anyways, so for what the Madness deck, I don't think there's too crazy of a card that they can reprint in that's valuable.
Nah, nothing that comes to my mind in terms of. Then again, I really haven't delved too deep into it. Actually, no, I have. Nah, there really isn't anything.
That's like high cost. It'd probably just be something that's like really good, but doesn't really go with the deck too much. Maybe like a Phyrexian Arena. I don't know, $10. Maybe an Urborg.
You know, maybe actually, yeah, maybe.
No Cabal coffers though.
I hope not.
You're gonna cry. You just get the Urborg. I hope they put both, honestly.
I hope they don't.
I do.
That's a lot of value there.
So yeah, I'm really excited about this because this is just the tip of the iceberg. Like we only saw a few things so far.
I know, and then
I'm
today
really
itself
excited.
is going to be a lot. Oh goodness.
Gen Con Saturday. Oh man, they gotta show something.
It's going to be great. But I mean, so far so good.
Right.
But let's go ahead and get over to our winner of the giveaway from our last video from last week. And today's winner, go ahead, give me a drum roll here. Yantris. And Yantris' comment was, the player that goes for an infinite combo which leads to nowhere. I've had a couple of those, and I'm sure you've had plentiful of that.
It's like so much power, but nothing to do with it. No card draw. You have infinite mana.
You've got the Infinity Gauntlet, but you got
no stones.
Yeah.
you got
no stones. So Yantris, please go ahead and reach out to us here, or you can reach out to us at commandersofthecoast@gmail.com. And we're just going to go ahead and end this podcast right here. Thank you all for tuning in, and it's good to be back after...
Right, it's been a while. It's been a while, but I mean...
quite some time.
We had to come back. We had a flashback, you know?
We had a flashback.
Yeah, we got more, and it's just...
It's madness.
It's madness.
It is madness.
Yeah. No, so we're gonna populate your inbox with new videos and podcasts.
So please make sure you subscribe and like.
Yeah, so you don't miss, because there's a bunch more news coming. We're gonna definitely cover that.
Absolutely.
Not to mention there's a lot more giveaways and different prizes that we would like to do.
And just not this time around, but probably for the next video when we can afford it. We have just spent money on the C19 pre-orders, so you know. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you again next time.
See you guys.